Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Aunt Becky.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Callie.
I'm Pop Pop. And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Good morning. Good morning. Oh yeah. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you. We just finished off morning chores and I was saying hello to our two newest additions, little Hereford calves. Aren't they cute? Don't worry, I think you're cute too. Oh yeah, head scratches. Look at that tongue. Whoa. We're dealing with some sloppy weather. We're not upset about it at all. We got about ½ inch of rain last night leading up into this morning, and things are very wet. But as you can see, the pasture is looking lush and green. The crops needed this rain, and yeah, it's helping to cool things off just a little bit. I know we've got a lot to get done today, so we're gonna hop into it shortly. Dad and I are just finishing off a quick inspection of the greenhouses. Things are looking up to par. In the next few weeks, these mums are gonna be gaining a lot of size and get moved out of this greenhouse, which will then finish off this greenhouse for the year. A lot of planning and preparation has gotten us to this point. We're hoping that we're gonna be able to sell all these mums without any trials, but we'll just have to wait and see. They sell pretty fast when they start blooming, so as long as we reach a beautiful bloom, I think we'll be fine. Now for our local area, they had forecast some sunshine today. I'm not seeing any of that, and it's sprinkling a little bit. I don't think we're gonna get hit with any more rain, but these sprinkles are making me cautious. As you can see, we've made our way out to the field, and the first thing we're getting started with is cabbage. We need cabbage for ourselves and for orders. We need some larger heads and smaller heads, so we're being a little selective as we're picking. One of the bonuses of raising all different varieties of cabbage is that at the same time we can have smaller heads and larger heads. So we're gonna be able to get both, and we're not even gonna have to go too far in the field. We can get it pretty localized. I get the question quite often, how do we harvest our cabbage? So I like to demonstrate it in the videos. What I like to do is take my hand and place it on top of the cabbage and hold it in place. I will then take my other arm, push the leaves down, and then I'll put the point of my knife at the base, and I'll push it through while applying pressure to the head, and the cabbage just pops off. This is really nice.
Are you filming?
As I look down the field, I can almost cut every single one of these heads, which is kind of what you want, because any cabbage you leave in the field is lost profit and lost work, because we started all this from seed. And it took a lot of work to get it to this point, so we want to keep it. You know what we like to call big heads of cabbage around here?
Matthew.
That's just what we like to call them. I don't know how they got the name Matthew, but that's just what name they get. When fall time comes around and we have our huge cabbage orders, like Dad mentioned, that's what we love to do. But with that rain we received last night, it's just too muddy. And these cabbage heads are so beautiful, we don't want them to look all dirty, do we? Not at all.
The nice part about this cabbage is it's heavy and dense. So sometimes when you cut cabbage, these heads are only 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, but these are 4 or 5 pound heads. I don't know if you can get it.
2 baskets or one? We call this red or purple cabbage. I mean, it's obvious to see why, but this stuff is so beautiful. And it's fun to pick. We don't raise too much of it, but it's just a nice change of pace, especially because of the color. We've just got to move up the field a little bit more because we have our regular cabbage, our red cabbage, and now we want to grab some Savoy cabbage. As I was picking that cabbage, I noticed it was really wet, obviously from the rain, but I think I'm sweating as much as I'm getting wet from this cabbage. It is humid out here. We got all the cabbage picked that we needed. Before we can go home though, we definitely need to grab some yellow squash, which is where we're at now. Out of everything that we pick on the farm, this yellow squash is actually one of the things that beats you up the most. Well, I don't know if beats you up is the right word. It scratches your arms up like crazy. There's lots of thistle on these leaves, and as you get closer to where the fruit is or the vegetable is, there becomes more and more thistle. Now, for us, it doesn't really bother us too much because we've been doing this for so long. But if you're raising this yellow squash in the garden, it can cause quite some irritation on you. I'll see if I can find a good example. Once we look down here at this plant, you can see there are little spines all over it. And as you get deeper and deeper into the plant, there's more and more of them. That's why it can be a little rough on the skin to pick these, but if you're doing it at home, I would suggest you use gloves. I cannot get over how nice that cabbage looks. Now, it's not our first time harvesting it for the year, but that is the most we've harvested yet. We were talking and we thought we could probably fill a bin today, but we just don't have the help. In the near future though, we'll be filling plenty of bins. A lot of the stuff that we just picked was for order, so right away when we get home, we box a lot of the stuff up. Daniel was inside. He already took care of the yellow squash, but Dad has been working on the cabbage. He's got a box of small heads going along here. I think we're doing 2 boxes of small heads. He's already got 1 done. And we're getting ready to make the delivery of the produce. We've got cucumbers, green zucchini, yellow squash, and cabbage. Now this is for a local supermarket, but more than often, a lot of the orders that we receive are from just people in the public. A lot of people doing canning, or perhaps they're having a picnic or a party and they're inviting people over. That's a lot of the time you'll see when you're moving a lot of produce. For example, there are certain times of the year where sweet corn just flies off the shelves. When people start having gatherings or picnics, then it's just gone. And that same thing kind of works with the cabbage, broccoli, whatever we're harvesting. There are certain times of the year where certain crops are more favorable than others. When people are doing coleslaw or they're starting to make sauerkraut, that's when you really start to move bins and bins of cabbage. With tomatoes and peppers, when people are canning tomatoes or freezing peppers, that's when we'll sell a lot of those. And that same rule of logic applies for whatever vegetable or fruit that you're raising. There's a certain time where it's really, really popular, and then it just flies off the shelves.
Things start flying off the shelves, we're even busier.
Could you imagine that? We get busier than we are now. Whew, that's crazy. Daniel and I just made it back out to the fields. Dad is gonna be joining us in a few minutes. He is making that delivery. And what we're gonna be working on now is harvesting the cucumbers. So we're gonna make our way down through the row. The plants are getting on the older side. We're not expecting to find too much, but if I find some nice stuff, I'll share it with you. One thing I will say is I'm finding nice cucumbers here and there, but the plants are definitely starting to show their age. Not only with how the plants look, but with the fruit or the cucumbers that they're producing. They're nicked up here and there. They just don't look as nice as they did when we first started harvesting. So the selection process is a little bit more difficult. We're only taking the nicest stuff we can. What I do have here in this basket looks great though. This is what it's all about. And another thing I wanted to mention, if you can hear that, it's starting to rain. Dad told me it was gonna be sunny today. No rain, but that's okay. He can't control the weather, so we won't be too upset about it. For now. Maybe later if I get soaked, I will. It started pouring a little bit there, so we are now all sitting in the side-by-side out of the rain. At least until it slows down a little bit, because Daniel, how do you feel about picking in the rain?
I don't mind when it's misting, but when you get the big raindrops, when you're bent over, it just hits the bottom of your back, and it is so cold and so annoying.
Just finished off the cucumbers. We got 7 baskets. That's not too bad. More than I was expecting. But this is probably one of the last times that these cucumbers will be picked for the year. We might pick it one more time and then moving on to the next patch. What do you think of that growth? That's our pumpkins that we seeded not too long ago. Looking good, but that's not what we're picking next because, well, that stuff's got to do plenty of growing. The new planting of zucchini is what we are picking next, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Not only does the zucchini look gorgeous, but we've got pickling cucumbers here and regular cucumbers. Now you can see a big difference between the old plants and these new ones. There is lots of new growth coming on each one of these plants, and as we get a little deeper into the plant, oh, check it out. We've got pickling cucumbers and regular cucumbers coming quickly. So that gives you a good understanding as to why we're going to be moving down here shortly. That old planting just doesn't compare to this new planting. This stuff looks great. Now I'll share some interesting information with the crop that we're harvesting right now. Zucchini is special to my dad's heart. So special that he actually went to zucchini school. Okay, maybe we won't call it zucchini school, but my dad went to Penn State University because they had a few classes on raising zucchini and they gave him a lot of helpful information. Zucchini was something that he struggled to grow in the past, mostly due to the different mildews that would affect it. But because of that information that he received from his class, we've been growing better zucchini ever since. And what they essentially helped him to appreciate is there are certain minerals he needs to be adding to the zucchini to fight against those two mildews, downy and powdery mildew. And then they also shared with him some minerals that he could add, not only to help his zucchini, but other crops, but most importantly, some minerals that will help the growth of the plant with the zucchini and the size of the fruit. Now, depending on what your soil is like, you might need different minerals than us, and also the area where you live. I know for our specific location, growing zucchini is very important to us. Even though it seems like anybody can raise it, we always tend to grow really, really nice zucchini that sells very well. So that was just some interesting information I wanted to share with you.
When I attended zucchini school, it was such an exciting time in my life.
Now he's just like a zucchini master. You know, it's basically like you went to zucchini school and then you taught all of us zucchini school.
Well, you were homeschooled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like the zucchini professor.
Some days I feel like it. This zucchini's this size today. Tomorrow it'll be like this, and the next day it'll be like this.
That's why it's so important to almost pick zucchini every day. Otherwise it gets too big and then you have to leave it in your neighbor's unlocked cars.
We're not supposed to even be picking this zucchini. This April's supposed to be picking this, Mimi's supposed to be picking the zucchini blossoms.
Yeah, the zucchini that we actually planted for ourselves is at the other end of the field. But this is for my mom. She picks the zucchini flowers off and sells them. People make a special dish where we live with them. I believe it's a lot of Italians make the dish. I don't know who else makes it, but they basically wrap the flour, they put cheese and some other things inside the flowers and then fry them. I don't know, they like them a lot. My mom likes them. So we're technically not supposed to be taking too much zucchini off this, but my mom has not had the opportunity to get here and start picking flowers off. So we don't want the zucchini to go to waste, so we're taking it. Oh no, the zucchini fell down there. Can I reach it? I got it. Really quickly, I'll show you what my mom is looking for when she's picking zucchini blossoms. You see this one right here with the zucchini? This is a female flower, so that's not the one she wants. She wants the male flowers. Those are the ones with no zucchinis behind them. So you can see these flowers, they're all closed up, but early in the morning, the male flowers are opened up wide. So she usually comes through early in the morning when it's not raining and picks these blossoms off. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on just this plant. Now they're not all ready to pick yet, but they're close. And let me just tell you, she gets plenty and plenty of orders, so she ends up picking quite a few.
I'm gonna get another basket.
Yep.
The pickle situation.
The pickle situation?
Yeah,
We've got a situation.
These are cucumbers.
Oh, yeah. We're not picking these yet. That was little. Let's see here.
What?
Yeah, you might have to go through on Thursday, but nothing too crazy gonna be here just yet. I think next week they're really gonna be nice.
These rows are absolutely gorgeous down through here.
These pickling cucumbers and regular cucumbers are nice. And then right across our path, look at these tomatoes. They're huge. They're like 3 feet, 4 feet tall tomatoes. Slight exaggeration, maybe not 4 feet tall, but they're pretty tall. You ever heard of fish stories? I'll tell you some tomato stories. Look at that plant. That's what we like to see. These smell hot, Dad. I can smell the spice on them. Is that spicy?
These are sweet peppers.
Yeah, you wish. Dad's been working on his spice tolerance. How's that going?
It's getting better.
Yep, he's eating hot peppers out in the field now. This man used to just be a salt and pepper guy. Now he's salt, pepper, and put some chilies on it. Alrighty, everyone, we've made it in for lunch. It looks like we're having a few leftovers and some hot dogs. That's gonna be good. Also, Uncle Trey is here. How you feeling today?
Doing better.
Doing better, doing much better. He's thankful for all the kind wishes everybody gave him. But yeah, he's still recovering. He can get out and do a little bit here and there, but he's still pretty sore. After we got finished off with lunch, the first thing that I did was take Callie home, but now I'm out here with the boys and we're working on picking some beans. Many of you know that we have a special piece of equipment that does this for us. However, it's early on in the year and not all the beans have matured equally, so we have to pick by hand. Now, we're on record saying this is not our favorite job, but it's not as bad as peas because we have a machine that can pick these. We just can't use it yet. And as you can see, there are some beans here that are a little on the younger side, but there are some more mature beans towards the center and the bottom of the plant. So these are the ones that we're gonna be focusing on. And we're just gonna get picking. Finding quite a few here. I'm actually impressed. The only problem I have with the piece of equipment that we use to harvest these is that it completely strips the plant. So not only does it take all the beans, but it also takes all the leaves, which ultimately turns these beans into a one-time harvest. Whereas if you were picking them by hand, you could harvest them multiple times. The only thing is the variety of beans that we choose to raise really produce all of their beans at once. And that's why we don't mind using the harvester that we do have to harvest them, even though it completely destroys the plant. We don't normally talk about what variety of beans we raise because not everybody is using that type of equipment to pick their beans. Most people that are watching just have a garden at home or they raise a few plants. But anyway, you don't want to be destroying your plant when you're picking. And that's why hand picking in the beginning part of the year is what we like to do because not all of the plant is mature. Yes, it takes a lot longer to do it this way. However, we feel that this benefits us more than it harms us having to pick these by hand for this short amount of time. This is not an all-year thing, and I'm actually excited to be picking beans, so it's not that bad of a job either. Well, I ended up sitting my butt on the ground and just scooting along, and Dad and I got another basket of green beans, and then Daniel was working on the Italian flat beans. Those look nice as well. So we got 2.5 baskets, or a little over 2.5 baskets, and that's all we're gonna be picking for now. Once we got finished picking beans, we were kind of throwing around what we wanted to do. We have a few jobs that we could do, but then all of that changed because the wholesaler just called us and asked for not 1, not 2, but 3 bins of corn. Currently, Daniel and Petey are unloading a wagon. We're gonna get some bins and pallets thrown onto it, and then we're gonna get to pick it. Now the order we have is for 50 dozen in each bin. So we're looking at 600 ears in each bin of corn, which is a lot of picking, but thankfully we've got plenty of corn to get it done. That's money-making corn right there. How's it taste? Must be pretty good. Alrighty everyone, we're all here and it's time to get picking. We just got our second bin of 600 ears all filled up. We've made a lot of progress and we got one more bin to go and then we were done with picking sweet corn. I didn't think it was gonna be hot and humid today, but when you get in these cornfields, boy are they humid. I don't know what to say, but the humidity in here is killing me. It's hot, and then on top of the humidity, I'm just drenched in sweat again. I was saying this morning, my pants felt like they were 20 pounds, and now from sweat, they're starting to feel heavy again, so I can't wait to be done with this job because I am tired of the heat today. Well, I guess I shouldn't say I'm tired of the heat. I'm tired of the humidity. The heat hasn't been that bad. If there was like no humidity today, ooh, that'd be nice. And this is it, and we have got another bin finished off. And that's where we're gonna stop picking for the day. We got our 3 bins of 600. It went rather quickly, but yeah, the old sweet corn picking arm is feeling a little tender. As we start to get into major sweet corn harvest, I think my arm will be all ready to go. But for now, I gotta wear it in, you know? Not too bad of a haul. That's all the sweet corn that we need for the order. We just have to get it moved into the cooler because we're delivering it first thing tomorrow morning. I don't know what to tell you guys. There's something special about fresh picked sweet corn. It just feels like summertime. When you got some fresh picked sweet corn, it's just such a good feeling. So right when we got home with the corn, Matt got back from the wholesaler. So we've been spending a lot of time getting all that unloaded. We're just getting ready to put the corn inside. It has been very busy here at the farm market as well. A lot of people know that we've got plenty of fresh produce around and they've been making good use of it. All right, everyone, I am now home and I am working on dinner. Lauren and I are having chicken Alfredo. And since we're getting ready to eat dinner, that means this is where we're gonna end the video today. I would like to thank everyone for watching and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.